The next devlog will be refining all of these mechanics, and then
boy, is that a glow up, I tell you what. Howdy, and I'm back. In less than 6 months, would you look at that?
Oh, he did it!
Boy, am I glad that 6-month saga of my life is over. That failed project was almost the death of me. But if you're new here, howdy, I'm Longbrow. I make cringy jokes that very few people laugh at, but in between that, I make video games. And sometimes I make videos about those video games. You know, when I get around to it.
Happy birthday. I'm sorry.
But you clicked this video for game development, not my face. So let's go ahead and get on to that. See, I've been developing this sort of dream game of mine. I know people say that a lot. It is a first-person parkour action platformer game with a wholly unique art style, at least that's what I'm hoping for. I have made massive improvements to the gameplay since the last time I talked about the game. As an example, here's what the game used to look like before this video. Everything in the game was pretty much placeholder, and the code in the game was scuffed. It was being pretty much held together by bubblegums, hopes, and dreams. But before I talk about how I turned this into this, I'm going to need to introduce the game to the fresh faces around here, considering this is basically me revamping my whole devlog series of the game. If you missed the first 3 devlogs I did on this game, just ignore those. They're not important. I mean, if you wanted to watch those videos to line your boys' pockets, I wouldn't complain. But I'm pretty much going to be summing up everything in those 3 videos real fast in this video. So you actually can just ignore those videos. So yes, officially, this is my game. It is a, one moment, fast-paced, open-world, first-person parkour action platformer. Please keep watching. But if you're wondering what the plot of the game is, I will sum it up at the end of the video, but I will just give you a quick 2-sentence explanation real fast so you understand what I'm talking about. You are a futuristic Knights Templar, and you are basically delving into a deep, dark, labyrinthian dungeon in search of the last Bible, scattered individually by its books in this dungeon. I plan on the progression of the game pretty much boiling down to how good are you at the parkour. But I have talked long enough about this game. What have I done on the game so far? Well, I have done some character designs like this, not this. That is one hideous cat. Let's jump forward a little bit to yesterday when I decided to redesign the main character, literally yesterday. So I designed him into this. Looks a lot cooler and it fits the fast-paced gameplay more than a knight. So the whole game is going to be black and white. There's going to be no color. Basically, my art style is pretty much somewhere between manga and Batman. So the player's hands are going to be 2D drawings that I animated frame by frame. But I do not want it to be super smooth animation. I want it to be choppy like a flip book. To properly accomplish this, I took some 3D models of arms that I made and then I animated them doing all the animations. And then I took screenshots every 3 to 5 frames, drew over the screenshots, and then added all the crazy detail in afterwards. So I can see the smooth animation in 3D and compare it to my choppy animation I did by frame. But the world of the game is of course 3D, where I'm utilizing my degree and professional experience in 3D modeling to do this. And in the old build of the game that I discussed in the old devlogs, I also added a bunch of gameplay mechanics, but pretty much all of those gameplay mechanics have been removed or hardcore edited to be different, to focus more on parkour rather than the action part of the game. And that's what we're going to be discussing in this video, the transfer from that to what it is now. And so now you're pretty much caught up on the game. That was about 4 months of work, summarized in a couple of minutes.
Ouch.
Now, digging through my old code when I came back to this project hurt my mind and my body because it was garbage. Garbage being held together by string cheese. That's pretty much what it was. So I spent a while redoing a lot of that code and removing a lot of it in order to get things to just be managed better and flow smoother pretty much.
And then I decided to completely redo the main focus of the game.
You still got a sword and you're still going to be doing slashing around, but most of it's going to be parkour to get to the slashing. Now let's get on to that, okay, boo boo? There is no sprint button. You're going to be starting off pretty slow, but quickly you're going to pick up pace until you eventually reach. Moving side to side and backwards does not build up speed.
fight me about it.
Now the system might seem really easy, but it's actually pretty complex because I wanted to make all of this really easily adjustable. And it is easily adjustable. I can adjust the base speed, the acceleration rate of the player, and the top speed they can reach. You of course have a jump, really breaking barriers with that one, aren't I? And I've added 2 traversal abilities that you can only unlock once you've picked up a little bit of speed. That is a slide to go under stuff, and a vault to go over stuff. And I also added a wall run. I am not going to take credit for that. I had to watch this tutorial to figure out how to do it, and I understand most of it. I repeat, do not like adding anything to my projects that I do not fully understand, or at least 90% understand. Because how can I playtest and balance something and add details to or remove parts of if I do not understand how it works? Game development pretty much works like this. Everything has to be in place and all the cogs have to work together to flow smoothly. If you don't know how these cogs work, it's just going to fall apart. That's the issue most new developers make when they hop into this, is that they expect they can just watch a bunch of tutorials online, implement all the tutorials, and boom, they got a game.
No.
Tutorials can only get you so far. Again, it's a cog in the machine. If one of these breaks, everything falls apart. So you need to know how each of the cogs work, or you're just not going to have a functioning game. And tutorials, by their very nature, are not meant to go together with other tutorials. So you may make a tutorial or follow a tutorial, make something and it works perfectly fine. But when you add something else from another tutorial, it will completely ruin the other one potentially. So that's why you need to understand how all of this works. Game development needs to be a marathon, not a sprint. So of course, I need to study this wall run mechanic much more if I'm ever even comfortable with it being in the game at all. Good tutorial though. But other than that, I have added some environmental parkour elements as well, like planks that you have to balance your way across, as well as planks that hang above you that you have to shimmy your way across. There's no animation for that. There's no animation for that. I also updated the attack in the game, so it's no longer
Placeholder slash.
It is now pretty much a katana slash with a purposeful delay from clicking
And then attacking.
This is to further incentivize timing. Timing is everything in this game. See, none of this parkour in the game is automatic. I do not like when games automatically do the fun parkour for you. You just click the sprint button and your hero will do everything by himself. I don't like that. So I'm making it to where everything is based on timing. When you want to vault over that thing, you better time your vault at the exact right time. You want to slide under that, you better time your slide at the exact right time. You want to slash that enemy, you need to account for the delay from your click to the slash. This is all based on timing so that the parkour feels more rewarding when you do it correctly. Oh, and for those of you on the edge of your seat, don't worry, Isaac is still in the game. Of course, I added a few demo levels. These are just so I can test out the gameplay and make sure all of these parkour mechanics flow smoothly together and are of course fun. Because one of my favorite quotes of all time is this:
If it's not fun, why bother?
But before we go on, I'm going to quickly give you the story rundown real fast. You are a member of a futuristic Templar. In this world, there is a one-world government that rules all with an iron fist. They have taken anything they deem to divide and wiped it from history and public knowledge. The entire world's beautiful art, world history, historical figures, and religion have been wiped from public knowledge, and citizens live under the boot of this evil governmental force. You are a part of a secretive underground Knights Templar. Your order has kept their Christian faith alive through oral traditions. However, the brightest among you have located the last remaining Bible on the planet, scattered in an underground labyrinth. You must now venture into these dark caves to reassemble the scriptures. Why is the Bible down there? Who left it? And what does your order and you play in the grander scheme? All will be revealed in the game. History lesson over. Now the next goalpost of the game is making an open world area in the game, a small one, so that you guys can explore it. I want to release a demo for you to play with Isaac. I want to have him in the game at least, so I can get feedback on what doesn't work, what does work, what I can add, what I can change, what I can remove, all of that. So I don't just chase down a dying idea. I want to make sure it's all working right, so I want to get you guys to play it. But honestly, God has blessed me with a life I could not be happier with. I have a wife that loves me, 2 beautiful daughters, and I honestly can't believe my life is as good as it is. Life's been hard lately, but never forget that you are loved, and cling to those who you're close to when you go through hard times, and you will get through it. Thank God I am in a better mental state than I was not too long ago, so I'm very confident and happy to be coming back to my passion, that is game development and YouTube. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters to me is my family and God, and so YouTube and everything had to get put on pause while I focused on that. But I'm happy to be back, and I have a ton planned for the future. After this video, this channel is going to be blowing up with content. I already have a lot planned and a lot ready to go. I'm excited. Ooh, that was deep. All right, time to get back to some jokes. Gollum, more like got him. They announced a new Lord of the Rings Gollum movie. You see that? Yeah, Andy Serkis is directing it. It's pretty cool. And they have that Lord of the Rings animated movie coming out at the end of the year. And Rings of Power too. Oh yeah, and like they just announced like a reboot or something like that for that's like a lot of Lord of the Rings stuff in that Shire game, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh yeah, I didn't make the tree models that you've seen in the video. I want to emphasize that. Give credit where it's due. But that's where the game is and that's where the channel is. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't worry, I'm not going to be gone for 5 months ever again. Anyways, thanks guys. See ya.